Hello Year 5, I hope you are well. We are going to complete our final maths lesson of your home learning before returning to school tomorrow. So make sure you do this because I'm going to test you on your knowledge of what you've learned since you've been off. But before we do that, let's warm your brains up. So we're going to be combining both of the two maths lessons that you've looked at this week. And we're going to be looking at dividing by 10, 100 and 1000. So let's warm your brains up a little bit this morning. So I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to have a go at doing these questions and then I will talk you through the answers. So number 1, something divided by 10 is 55. Now the answer is already the smallest possible answer. So I've already done the division, which means my number has to be the bigger number. So I need to do the inverse of divide, which is 2 times. So 55 times 10 would give me 550. Same rule applies for number 2. My number has already been divided by 100. So my smallest possible answer is already 55. So I now need to do the inverse. So let's multiply 55 by 100 and our answer is 5,500. Now number 3 is fairly straightforward. We already have our answer and our starting number. So you now need to work out how many times smaller this number has become. And the answer is 100. So our number has become 100 smaller than the original. Now this one's an easy one. So the inverse of multiplying by 10 is, see if you got it right, dividing by 10. Well done if you got all of those correct, Year 5. So let's move on to our learning for today. So we're going to go back and look at our place value chart today because that's going to help us identify how many digits we move when looking at dividing by 10, 100 and 1000. So let's start off with our first number. Here we have 47,000. Okay, so this is represented with my ones, my tens, my hundreds, thousands and 10 lots of thousands. So 10,000s column. So we're going to have a look at this. 47,000 divided by 10. So we're now making our number 10 times smaller. So we're moving all of our digits to the right. The answer is 4,700. So let's have a look and see how that's represented. So here you can see our numbers have all moved 1 digit to the right. So our new number is 4,700. Let's see what happens when we divide our original number by 100. So again, looking at our zeros here, this is going to be our clue of how many digits we need to move to the right. So let's divide it by 100. Our answer is 470. Let's see what that looks like on a place value chart. So here again, you can see our numbers here have started in our thousands column. And from our 10,000s column, they've moved twice. So all digits have moved 2 digits to the right. Let's see if we can get it even smaller. Let's now divide that by 1,000. So 47,000 divided by 1,000. Now we know from looking at our tens and our hundreds, our digits have moved 1 digit to the right for 10 and 2 digits to the right for 100. So our zeros is our clue. Now here we have 3 zeros, which means our digits have to move 3 places to the right. So the answer is 47. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. So from our very first starting number, we can see that our numbers have moved 1, 2, 3 places to the right. Have a think and pause the video. What do you notice? What stays the same and what changes? So let's have a look at these statements and see if you've spotted a pattern. So to divide a number by 10, each digit must move a certain number of places to the right. Now let's just go back and look at our place value chart. So here we notice when we divided by 10, all of our digits moved 1 place. When we divided by 100, our digits moved 2 places. When we divided by 1,000, our digits moved 1, 2, 3 places. Now our numbers haven't exactly changed. The value of our numbers have changed, but the digits are still the same. So our clue here is looking at the zeros. So here for the first one, to divide by a number by 10, there's 1 0, which means it moves 1 digit to the right. Same for our 100 digits. 100 has 2 zeros, therefore we're moving our digits 2 places to the right. And the same rule applies when looking at 1,000. It's 3 zeros, therefore it's 3 digits to the right. So let's apply that knowledge and see how you get on. So we're going to start with our number 35,000. Now we're going to divide it by 10. So we know it's got to get 10 times smaller, which means my number has to be a smaller digit. We know that 35,000 divided by 10 is going to give us 3,500. From there, I can now work out how to make that number 100 times smaller and 1,000 times smaller. However, what do we do with this number? Now this number has already been made 1,000 times smaller than the original number. So all of our division has already happened. So we now have to think, how am I going to find that original number that we started with? So our sentence then would be, something divided by 1,000 is going to give us 27, and we need to work out that original number. So 27 is 1,000th of what number? Let's put that in a place value chart and let's see if we can work it out. Now we know that the number has already been divided. So in order for us to find the original number, we're going to need to do the inverse. We're going to need to multiply. Now go back and think about what we learned. How many digits am I going to move if I am now going to multiply by 1,000, and which direction? Right, let's see if you got it right. So we're multiplying, our digits are now going to move to the left, and our digits are going to get 3 times bigger. So we're going to move it 3 times to the left. So 27 is going to move 10 times. Now we're going to add our 0 in here for our placeholder because our number's getting bigger. We're going to move it a second digit to the left. Now again, we have a gap. We're going to need to use our placeholder here. Well, we've still only now multiplied by 100, so we're going to move it one more place. So I'm going to move my digits once more to the left, and again I'm going to add that placeholder. Therefore, my new answer is going to be 27,000. So 27,000 divided by 1,000 is 27. What I'd like you to do now is pause the video, have a think. Do you think you can now fill in those missing gaps, or what might you need to do to work them out? So 35,000 now divided by 100 is going to be 350. If we then divide that number again by 1,000, that's going to give us 35. Now for the other ones, if we're doing the inverse, now that we've got our starting number, it should be fairly easy for us to fill out. So if we divide it by 10, that's going to give us 2,700. And if we're dividing it by 100, it's going to give us 270. Well done, Year 5, if you got that correct. Let's apply that knowledge. I'd like to have a go at doing questions 1 to 6 on your worksheet, please. So let's explore this problem solving question. So here I effectively have to do 2 sums. So my question is 5,700 divided by 10 divided by 10. Now there's 2 different ways we can work this question out. Now equally, we can just work this question from left to right. So we can do 5,700 divided by 10. That's the same as saying 570. We could then rewrite that question now as 570 divided by 10. So we just make this number 10 times smaller, which gives us 57. However, we can do this a different way, because we know that if we do divided by 10 again, we know that's moving 2 places to the right. So that's going to be the same as dividing by 100. So let's just do 5,700 divided by 100. We know that number's now got to move 2 digits to the right to make it smaller. Therefore, my answer is 57. Same answer, but 2 different ways that we could work that problem out. I'd like to pause the video and have a think. Can you now work that sum out and tell me which way is easier? Do you find it easier working from left to right, or is it easier for you to then add those 2 numbers together and do one sum instead? So we know that 671,000 divided by 100 divided by 10 is going to give us 671. So let's explore the different ways we could do it. You could either just do it as dividing by 100 and dividing by 10, or we know that if we're dividing by 100 and then by 10, with those 3 zeros means we must be dividing by thousands. So we could just rewrite that sum, and it can just be 671,000 divided by 1,000, and it's still going to give you the same answer. So let's put this into a problem solving question. So the population of Bradford is 530,000. Now the population of a village close to Bradford is 1/100th the size of Bradford's. So what is the population of this village? So we know that Bradford is 530,000. And we know that the population of the village close by is 1/100th the size of Bradford's. Therefore, we've got to divide it by 100 to tell us what that value would be. And we know that 530,000 divided by 100 is 5,300. Let's have a look at another question. A supermarket sells £750,000 of goods in a week. Now, the manager of the supermarket earns 1,000 of what the shop sells. So how much does the manager earn per week? So I'd like to pause the video and have a think. What is the key language in that question? What information is going to help us answer that question? So we have 750,000. Okay, that's how much is sold at that supermarket. Now, again, this is a language question. So the amount of the supermarket is 1,000. So 1,000th is our key language here that's going to help us identify what we need to do. Now, if it's a thousandths, we know that it is a fraction of amount, so 1 over 1,000. Therefore, we know we are dividing. So we are looking for a smaller number. So we need to make 750,000 1,000 times smaller. So we're going to divide it by 1,000, move it 3 digits to the right. Our answer is going to be £750. Okay, I'd like you to have a go at doing questions 7 to 10 on your worksheets, and then when you return to school, we'll do a quick recap lesson on your multiplying and dividing that you've learnt this week, and it's an opportunity for you to ask any questions if you are stuck on anything. Good luck, Year 5.